How do you strike that right balance where you're able to be really present, really attentive and supportive, but also making sure your own cup is full first?
That's the hardest part for me. That's the hardest part for me. And not, we want to stay evergreen here, but to bring it to the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
world
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, everybody's challenges, mental health, everything was exacerbated so
Yes.
tremendously in this extraordinary year that we lived through.
Yeah.
And like, Alec, like my daughter, like this really, really cut to her, brought her to her studs. She
How old
really
is
had a
she?
hard time. She's 12.
Yeah.
She's young, but she was, she felt, I was like, I'm going to go have a tequila, where she couldn't do that. She was
Mm-hmm.
Right.
reaching out on the internet. There was a lot of things going on here in the house where I was like, whoa, what do we do with this?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't have the answer to that. I mean,
Yeah.
the answer to that is I probably didn't do it as well as I should have. And I do have friends that say, exactly what you just said, make sure your cup is full. And so I let it get a little not full from time to time in the past year. And I'm just sort of like climbing out of that a little
I
bit.
can't
Like we all,
imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 5. I had 1. And I remember one time it was 2 years into us being fathers and we were folding laundry and watching television. And I was always going to be that. I thought, I'm going to take care of myself and I'm going to make sure my cup is full and I'm going to go to spinning and and then 2 years later, 20 pounds heavier.
Mm.
I look over at my husband. I was like, wow, we look like shit.
because
Because it was a fire alarm, him
Yeah.
coming into our lives.
Yeah.
And we dropped everything. And it wasn't until he was like, I'm not kidding, with us for 5 years or 3 years that we were like, what do I need? Like it's
yeah,
because when you have a kid, it's they have to come from it's hard to make that
Yeah.
yeah,
balance. It's
yeah.
hard to make that balance. It's hard to say to a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old,
Yeah.
I just need a little space right now.
Well,
I need it.
parenting kicks in and you just have to do your thing and there's no perfect way of doing it. It's so interesting though, because both of you guys are actually kind of talking about like some paralleled kind of experiences that you each had in life where you grew up, you kind of inevitably had to take care of yourself, kind of find your way through life, and then also become, like both of you, they become these incredible caregivers, right? And at times it can kind of go to the extreme where it's like putting other people's needs ahead of your own. But the way that you are each describing it is that you're just really aware of it. You're mindful of it. There's never going to be a perfect balance. Like, yes, fill your cup up first and then everybody gets a spill over. Like, that would be lovely. It doesn't really happen like that all the time. The fact that you're aware of it and you're trying to strike a very conscious balance of it, that is breaking the cycle. That mindfulness and conscious shift and change to try and find that balance is breaking the cycle.
Right. Right. And we have the similar experience of like adopting Black children. And it's kind of like I can give my kid everything except the experience of growing up in a Black home.
Yeah.
I can give you everything. And I
Right.
can give you education. But it's like,
Sorry,
ahead.
I had a troll on Instagram, a couple ladies that were like, how are you going to teach her how to be a Black woman? And I'm like, I'm going to teach her how to be a woman. I mean, I don't, but I understand where they're coming from in terms of, we didn't really think that part of it all the way through. We thought we are so open in this family. It wasn't even a question what color her skin was. We were like,
when
yes.
you send them out into the world, it's going to be a different story.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then this year happened where we were so vocal and so politically charged, and not this year, 4 years, frankly, but so we had the news on all the time and we were yelling and we were talking about it and we were, it was just it was very charged in my house. And somebody said on the news, your children are listening.